Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
To our Yeah Sure podcast.
Yeah.
We are back again. We're taking our time.
Go.
We're taking our time with our episodes, huh?
We're getting deep, Yeah. Doing lots of research. No, we thought it'd just be good to take some time and reflect and personally grow.
Yes. That's always important.
Gain some knowledge before we continue to speak and about things we do little to no research on.
Yeah, like every time. although you just started it by saying to take some time to do some research and grow.
Exactly.
Which contradicts what you say after.
Well, that's why I said it.
Want to chat?
Yeah, sure.
We missed you guys. We missed our podcast. We missed coming up here. Down here, because we're in our basement.
We're in the depths. We're in the depths of knowledge right now.
Today, we're going to talk about something cool. Something
cool
that maybe some people don't believe in, and some people believe in it. It's called NDE, Near Death
Experience.
Yes. Bum, bum, bum.
We actually watched a show called the OA, and it was like pretty interesting. I don't want to I can't give the preface away, but season 1 was really good. I think season 2 got pretty good ratings and reviews, but we
can't finish it.
We kind of fell off on it. But yeah, the OA, it's an older show. It's on Netflix. It was really good.
The first season, at the end, we were both crying.
Yeah.
We got so touched.
Yeah, it caught us by surprise.
Yeah. I kind of want to watch the last episode again just to remember everything.
Yeah, I felt like we need to build up into that, though. That was a good show.
That was a great show. Yeah, I'm down to watch it again, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I guess that's kind of... Is that about NDE?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy.
It's
actually, yeah. It's like one of the only shows of its kind.
Yeah, it's very unique. I would say it's not very it's not done before, right?
No.
It's very cool. I liked it.
Really good build up.
But today we want to talk about it because I'll just give a backstory as to why we're even talking about this. My cousin came here from California. Shout out Mariam. She had a book that she was reading about near-death experience of Renee. This lady called Renee. And this lady called Renee. What does that mean? Her name is Renee. And she was telling me about it. She's like, yeah, I read the whole thing on the plane. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. She's like, yeah, it's just a short book, blah, blah, blah. And then she was talking to my brother Nima about it. And she's like, I'm going to leave you this book. Then when I was the next day after they left, I was at my parents' house. I saw the book. I was like, I think Nima forgot to take it. Let me take it for him because Nima and I live closer together. So I took it and I read it. And I loved it. It was so interesting. The story was amazing.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, but I told you about some parts of it. And then we got to talking, even with Nima was there too.
My bad.
Oops.
I was just checking if your phone was on silent.
It always is. Don't touch my stuff. Thank you
prepared.
So much.
I know.
He takes my things, just like what you guys saw on video or heard on audio, and he breaks it. All the time.
Not intentionally, as you saw on video.
It's just you have butterfingers, so it happens naturally.
Or you have too much moisturizer.
So maybe it is intention.
You have moisturizer on everything.
Okay, what does that have to do with things in our cupboards that you break all the time?
When you're Vaseline,
you're like, oh.
When you're Vaseline head to toe, that's getting everywhere.
Listen, Vaseline, sponsor me. I am the perfect candidate for you.
You're all greased up the whole time.
All the time. But now I don't look greasy.
The crazy thing is she'll put on a thick layer of Vaseline and that will be gone within an hour.
My skin's thirsty. I'm thirsty. Oh, we forgot water. Speaking of.
Are you thirsty?
Yeah, but it's okay. I'll remember to drink water after. Yeah. So anyway, this story was just so captivating to me, just as it was for my cousin. I guess that's why she told us about it. And it came at a really nice time, I think. But
what's the book called?
I can't. Near-death experiences of Renee, something like that. It's upstairs, but maybe I can send you a picture of it.
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah, sure. That way you don't have to input it after.
I'll run and go get it.
Yeah, and I'll just talk about it a little bit. So this lady, Renee, she had 3 near-death experiences in her life. So as a kid, she got sick, and then she had an allergic reaction. So she talks about her story and the what happens when she's in that, because she's alive after the experiences. So she talks about where she went and what she saw. And if you guys believe in that stuff or you don't, there's always even people, atheists, who have had near-death experiences that come back and say, yeah, I went somewhere in between that time where I was saved by the doctors or whoever to come back. A lot of people think it has a lot to do with the things that the doctors are doing at the time. So for Renee, I believe in what she's saying as that higher power. But some people who don't believe in maybe religion or God think that it has to be scientific because of the injections, for instance, she was receiving as she was being saved by her doctor, which was adrenaline, I think, injections and some other things and shocks to her body and things like that. But I don't want to go into the story and tell you exactly what happened. I just want to talk about how the experience is so interesting, and it kind of solidifies the ideas in my head of God, and I'm a Baha'i, so I do have a lot of kind of information on life after death because of our writings, and we have these classes called Ruhi classes, and oh, thank you, perfect. James brought the book and our waters, nice. Okay, so the book is called Answers from Heaven: The Near-Death Experiences of Renee E. Passero. Like this. It's cool. And as you can see, it's very short. It's 75 pages or something. So in Ruhi classes, Ruhi Book 1 in the Baha'i Faith talks about the afterlife and death and all of that, which to a lot of people it's such a scary topic, right?
Yeah.
Do you get scared when you talk about death?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I've experienced a lot of death in my family, friends, a lot of people that I went to high school with. There's quite a bit of guys that have passed away. Yeah. Young age too. Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
5 or 6 people I know from high school have died.
This is death experiences, not near death.
I don't know anybody who's had a near death experience.
Me neither, not personally, face to face.
So let's define this. Are they talking about near death or actually dying and then coming back to life?
Yeah. Dying.
So you're dying on the
for 20 minutes. This lady talks about that. She's gone for 20 minutes. She has no heartbeat.
Okay. I've just known people who died.
But yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, this lady, she is in the other world where she feels this presence of light and love, and she's attracted to it. And she's talking about how she's accompanied by her uncle who has passed away long before she even knew him. And she is with him and he's taking her towards this light. And then when she goes towards this light, which is a pure form of just love, the love she has for God. And she, as a child, when this happens to her, she's a teenager. And as a child, she's a devoted Christian. And so she believes in God and religion. And then once she's taken to this light, she just feels so much love and joy. And she talks about how she feels every single feeling that even her mom was having as her mom was in the hospital, seeing her basically dead, right? She's she could feel everyone's joy in life, not in that moment, but in that moment, everybody's grief and sadness as well.
Was she overwhelmed by it, or
she was? She was, but she understood it. She understood it. She's she tried to communicate with people because she was at the hospital in that room where they were trying to save her. And the most important, or the most interesting part to me was 2 sections of the story. First, when she was going towards the light, and you know how people talk about that tunnel and the light and stuff? She didn't say it was a tunnel, but she said as she was traveling to get closer to this warmth and light, which just felt like love. That's it.
Okay.
she felt many souls that were just wandering within that darkness where she was passing them. You know what I mean?
So were they like,
she doesn't want to, I think, interpret and say that these are lost souls.
That's fair.
Yeah, but she
what
felt
did they feel
that
like?
They were just kind of wandering.
She didn't feel anything from them? Like she didn't feel some type of way from
them? Yeah, I think she was explaining it as like she felt like they were a little scared maybe. And she had no fear. All she felt was love. And that feeling of love that she had in her heart actually kept on attracting her more to this light, which was pure love.
I wonder what those souls were.
I know.
Or like what their
are they like going back and forth? Like
what kind of state they were in? Yeah.
Yeah. Are they fully dead? You know? Is their soul just kind of there? And I don't know. Because okay, in the Baha'i faith, what I believe and I have grown up to believe, is that there's no hell in heaven. It's just the closer you are to God when you pass away, your soul, the closer it is. It's just the nicer, I guess, the more heavenly, right?
Yeah.
And the more, let's say someone who's like a serial killer, like your soul is not close to God at all. And it's just for the furthest.
I think it's
as you like,
you're further.
The more I don't want to say sinful, but you know, if you're a serial killer, you obviously have hurt people and generations, I would say. So your soul is just when you die, it's just, I would think that it just doesn't exist anymore.
The distance you are from any kind of good presence.
Yeah, from the higher power, which I'm just going to say God. Whoever doesn't believe or believes in it, you can think of it as however you think of it.
I think it's important. I think it'd be a good practice for anybody listening to this, that since we're speaking about religions, to know that this isn't any type of convincing of any kind of sort. And then like the open-mindedness that I think it's important that we have as human beings towards other people sharing about their personal beliefs is to not, this is just my opinion, I think Tina's on the same page, is to not be guarded, to allow that opinion to exist.
Yeah.
And you can formulate your own opinions and you can keep your own opinions, but to not like, you don't have to not listen. Do you know what I mean?
And be open to things, because even as someone who's like an atheist who talks about these things, is so fascinating to me, and I respect and believe what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just shut down as soon as they hear like, if Tina's, we're saying like, hey, we're not sure, we don't, in the faith is, in Baha'i faith it says there's no hell.
Yeah.
Right? To like not shut off, and just because you believe in hell, shut off and not listen to someone who's speaking their beliefs. Because like that's where I think when it comes to religion and division, it's because of those kind of things where it's just like you can't accept the fact that someone chooses to believe something different than you.
Yeah.
And at that point you just literally rob yourself of learning or any kind of empathy or understanding from another human being.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's important to keep that kind of posture of openness.
Yeah, 100%.
In general
in life.
Yeah.
Not just only while you listen to this episode of our podcast. But in no way I mean that this is the right way or you have to listen to me. Not at all. To be honest with you, it doesn't have an importance to me in my life to try to convince somebody who doesn't believe the same thing as me. As long as that person is a good person, in my books, you're a friend, you're close to me. You know what I mean?
If you're bringing good,
I understand you,
positive value,
and
love to humanity,
you're
for solid.
Sure. Yeah, and you help people. There's service in that, and you want everyone to get along and accept and not just tolerate each other, but really accept and truly love each other for whatever our beliefs are. And I don't mean your belief is, I want to go and be with children. No, obviously not.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
We were talking about logical things. They get it.
Yeah. I those who listen are very good. But if you're feeling this kind of way, I think it's just important to keep that open mind.
Definitely. Right? And I also, when you were gone getting the book and our water, I talked about how some people also have a belief that these things are scientific. It's not spiritual, where you have near-death experiences, like the injections that were put in to Renee while they were trying to save her can give her a chemical imbalance. Like people who believe in science,
some kind of experience,
exactly, believe in that part. They don't think, oh, her soul is, but this is what I believe.
Yeah. And I mean,
I think there's truth to both sides, 100%. And because as a Baha'i, I believe that science and religion go hand in hand, or one shouldn't be like more than the other. I think we need spirituality and religion and God as much as we need science and logic.
Yeah, and I think
together it makes sense.
One of the most logical things is you can't just believe something because it's in a book.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote it.
Or you can't just believe a man who just says, oh, this, and this, and I have 50% proof of this.
Yeah.
Or 90%, but 10% I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just I'm at a point in life where I'm like, a lot of things is like, wow, that's so interesting. Yeah. And I can't tell you 100% you need to believe what I believe. Never. I would never even do that. Anyway, the most interesting part was those souls that she talked about that were kind of lost. To me, that part was really interesting in the book. Mm-hmm. And the other part, now I don't remember, but it'll come to me. But it just overall, the reason why I think we want to talk about it is that it was so interesting to hear different people's opinions on it, right? Mm. And also to just think like, wow, she got so many answers when she went back. Oh, I remember. The second interesting part is while she's in the hospital room as her soul, not her physical body, she's like, I had no connection to my physical body. I was looking at myself and the doctor's trying to save me. And they were really rough with her chest because they were trying to like do CPR and like, what are those electric things called?
Oh, the defibrillator?
Yeah, like they were doing that. And her doctor, I don't want to get into the story because I feel like it's such a nice story. If you guys are interested, you can go read it. But there were 2 doctors that were dealing with her. When her family doctor came and was really trying to save her and like injecting things, like just jabbing her chest with it, you know? She's like, I was watching it and it was so violent and aggressive that I was offended that they were doing that to that body. Wow. And she wasn't even saying my body. She was just saying like to the body. And she's saying that to her, this is the most interesting part. To her, them saving her was them murdering her. Because she felt so at ease and at home in the other world that she didn't want to come back, right? She just did not want to come back. So the action of the doctor trying to save her to her was like, he's killing her, basically.
So where she was present.
Yeah, she didn't want to come back.
There,
yeah, and
that's crazy.
The light that she got closer to, that like mighty power, told her, it's not your time yet. You need to go back. And she's like, I was trying to fight to stay. I was begging to stay.
What? So someone was talking to her?
Basically, she was not talking to her, but it's not. She explains it as they're all feelings. And yeah, she heard those words, but this is where it's so interesting because people will be like, okay, obviously this is not true. So no one's like talking to you about
telepathically kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's not your time. Like, but she heard those words. It's not your time. You need to go back. And she was accompanied by these light beings back to Earth, back into her body. And she said she hated it when she woke up in the real world, when she came back to the real world.
Yeah.
After being dead for 25 minutes, which is crazy. She was like upset. And her doctor was like kind of joking around with her. You're trying to leave us here? Like something like that. And she was like angry with him. She's like, why did you do that? Why did you save me? I wanted to stay there. I wanted to.
No way.
Yeah. And that's where her doctor got a psychologist because he's like, oh, she's suicidal, from the things she's gone through. And then the story just gets
I wonder if that doctor who was trying to save her, had he been a person of any kind of religion who believed in afterlife, if he would have pulled in a psychologist. You know
I think
what I
you
mean?
have to. I think as a doctor, you have to, no matter what your belief
like for
is.
legality?
Yeah, and for her safety, right? Because if she's talking about, I want to go back, that means I want to die, right? It doesn't matter what you believe in. You can't just allow her
Take me out, die.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just so interesting to like hear how she felt, the things she saw, because obviously I'm just telling you like the overall and just bits of it, but the way she just explains everything and the kind of messages she got throughout the experience, her near-death experience, and how she was transformed, how she could feel everything. When the psychologist came, she explained everything to her as to how she went to the next world and how she knew everything, right? She's like, this is the uncle that I saw. This is what he looked like everything. This is what they were doing to my body. This doctor came and said this, and then this doctor did this, and then
so she was able to recount it, and that's when they were like kind of validated the fact that
the psychologist went, she's like, okay, she listened to her. First of all, she cried for like 4 hours, and the psychologist just sat there because she didn't want to be there, Renee. And when she explained everything, she's like, she wrote everything down. She went out for like a while to talk to many people.
Yeah.
And then she came back and she's like, okay. And she's like, when she came back, she was pale and like, just like she didn't know what was going on. And she said to her, I talked to everyone you talked about, and that's exactly what has happened when you were gone.
That's crazy.
So it freaked her out, actually. But the psychologist was honest enough to tell her, I don't think you should tell this to anybody else because they're going to think that you are...
She writes a book.
Yeah, I know. She's like, gotcha.
Yeah.
She's like, because this is like, people are not going to believe you. And they're not, I don't know how they're going to react towards you. Right? Like, I don't know what they're going to do to you. And you should just never talk about this again with anybody. And before the psychologist, she told her mom, and her mom didn't say anything and was just like, kind of like, oh my God, what happened to my daughter kind of thing. But they were very, not conservative, but they were like, their faith was strong in Christianity.
Right.
And the mom, before she had this experience, I guess she had gone to a Baha'i fireside with a friend.
Okay.
And
what's a fireside for those who don't know?
It's like a gathering where Baha'is welcome everyone to come and ask questions about the Baha'i faith if they want to know about it. And then they just have like snacks and sit and talk, and maybe there's a topic they talk about, like life after death or whatever it may be. But it's for people who are curious to know.
From a Baha'i perspective.
Yes, yes. And other people from different religions come and they share their perspective, and everybody just kind of listens and has like a nice gathering.
Yeah.
Right? But it is there for others who have questions about the Baha'i faith. So she went and then she got the Hidden Words, like it's a little book with prayers and Baha'i writings in it. And when she brought it home, her mom was kind of afraid. This was before her near-death experience, and didn't want her to like ask too many questions. She didn't want her, like the Baha'i religion, to cloud her judgment in any way, you know?
Right.
She was afraid for her. She didn't want her to like say that Jesus wasn't who he was for them as Christians, right?
Right.
So then she's like, I would read the Hidden Words and it would speak to me. And then when she had the near-death experience, she saw so many different things that she connects it to what she was reading.
Yeah.
And again, here people can say, well, you know, when you have a what is it called? Pre-notice? Preemptive? What's it? What's that word?
Preconceived idea.
Yeah, like you obviously have an idea of something in your head. So when you have this type of experience,
you could say paradigm.
Yeah, paradigm. When scientifically it's proven that it's in your subconscious.
Right. Yeah,
so you obviously have these kind of thoughts about it, like dreams or wherever she went during that 25 minutes where she was dead. And then people are saying, of course, you're going to connect like that light of love of being to Baha'u'llah, who's the prophet in Baha'i religion, or you can believe whatever.
So you'll connect it to what you think
what you know, yeah, your preconception of.
So you're Christian, it's going to be Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. You're Muslim, it's Prophet Muhammad, like whoever, right? Yeah. Apparently, at the end of the book, there are some answers and questions of people who wanted to ask her questions, and they're like, majority of people who have near-death experiences actually stray away from religion. How did you find the Baha'i religion? You know, through this, you converted, because she essentially converted to the Baha'i religion. Her mom was told by the doctors to not upset her after her near-death experience.
Right. Like, so, upset her in what way?
Like, if she wants to do something, let her do it. Don't tell her, don't do this, don't do that. Whatever she wants to do after this experience, we need to kind of mentally keep her wherever she wants to be, right? And protect her. So when she asked for her mom to bring her the hidden words, the Baha'i writings, prayers to the hospital, her mom brought it. She didn't say, no, I'm not going to do that. This is bad for you. I don't want you to look into other religions, you know?
My question is, what makes these psychologists qualified to deal with someone with near-death experience if they haven't dealt with it themselves?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what I mean? Who else would? I think that's where we would be.
But like, wouldn't she be more qualified? That's the thing. Wouldn't she be more qualified to deal with this?
But she was a psychologist.
Oh, she was a child?
She was a teenager when this happened to her. Yeah. She was like 13, 14. Yeah. So
doesn't that pose like a serious question?
100%. But who else would it be? It would be religious. I would think as a Christian, some priest would come and talk to her, right? But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to keep her safe. So a psychologist would listen to you and kind of guide you as to where you can go, and the parents, so that they can deal with her properly, which I think they did do that, to be honest. You know, they let her express herself.
What was the background of her? What was the religious? Did her parents have any religious background?
Yeah, they were all Christians, very faithful Christians. They would go to church. They were, yeah.
Did they ever lean into her to go towards Christianity at some point or no?
For her?
Yeah.
Before her near-death experience? Yeah, they kept her strictly like in the faith.
Yeah, afterwards. So.
Afterwards, this is what I was getting at. Her mom allowed her to pursue the Baha'i faith, and she became a Baha'i. Her mom, even though she didn't understood or accept it, she stayed obviously close to her daughter, because she lost her for 25 minutes. You know, that doesn't matter to her anymore in this life, right? And that's the crazy part, that, you know, when we get to those places where we can lose somebody, I think then we don't care what their personal belief is towards like a religion or God, or not believing in it or believing in it.
I think we get too hung up.
The mom, sorry to interrupt you, but at the end, the mom became a Baha'i herself after many, many years. Like, I think it's like really interesting. Go ahead.
The whole family or just the mom?
I don't know about the rest of the family. She just talked about her mom. Yeah, go ahead.
I think we get too hung up on like the religion itself when we become religious, that we forget like a lot of core concepts of life and beliefs and openness and respect, and you know, like we just become like locked into a box. I did when I became a Christian. You know.
Yeah, many people do. In every religion, there are people. But I know in the Baha'i religion, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to tell someone at all. And I don't know if people do. I don't know any Baha'is who do this, but I don't know. I don't know every Baha'i, so I don't know. But we don't tell somebody, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a Buddhist, you're not going to heaven.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell am I to think that some other human being, like, I get to choose? No.
Yeah, you're not
never
deciding that.
Yeah. There's a quotation in the Baha'i writings where it said, Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah, has said, if religion becomes a division between humanity, it's better not to have religion. That's how much it's important for us to be unified in the world, rather than divide because of religion. And all we see now is division because of religious beliefs. But I don't believe it comes from the religion itself. I think it comes from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Power, people in power, etc.
It's definitely a power move.
Yeah. I mean, it always has been. And that's what's sad. And when I hear people kind of straying away from religion and God, it saddens me, because I understand them. I understand why, through their experience, why they're, you know.
Yeah, it's just tough, you know, because like when things are fueled by like power and greed and control, you know, things start to be exposed, and then it just kind of takes away the whole essence of the core of what the religion was and how it was used to actually just kind of guide us as human beings.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, which for sucks. Sure. Do you believe in near-death like, do you believe in her story?
I don't know if I believe in her story. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm not going to say it's right, but I would say like
not wrong or right, true or not true.
Like, I mean, I'm open to it. No, I don't. You never know. I can't like vouch for her. Do you know what I mean? I can't. I would say
she actually became a really important person like in the Baha'i faith, because when she was around, when she experienced and wrote this, Bahia Khanum, who is the wife of Shoghi Effendi, became like told her to do it when she heard her story. Yeah. She said, write this book and do that. But I personally believe it. I'm not going to say it's 1000% without any scientific proof. I think it has both that higher spiritual power like, and a little bit of what happens to you when you are not here and don't have a heartbeat.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like it's very intriguing, and I think the way she describes it, it's the first time I've heard it described that way.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of other people, like people have near-death experiences, and you hear all kinds of things. I don't know if it's just that they don't know how to articulate it.
But most people get away from religion and go towards just God. Because every single person, apparently, this is like the majority of research that has been done. Majority of people who have had NDE, they actually believe in God, even as atheists.
Right.
Or if they were religious, they stray away from religion as a label and believe in just God.
I want to know, you know what would be cool to find out is if there's ones who had NDE experiences and then they let's say they were atheist, and then they had it and then they went further away from the whole concept of having a creator of the universe. Do you know what I mean?
Where they
like what are they thinking now?
But I think when you have a near-death experience, if you actually do, then you would believe in the next world, because then where were you?
No, but maybe their experience, maybe these are just consistent experiences, and maybe these other things are just too intense or too rough to talk about, that they're just like, you know what, it's just, I don't want to I'm doing people a favor by not speaking on this. Do you know what I mean? It could easily go the other way.
Yeah. Like, but I don't think people would do a service to humanity and not say anything. I think people would talk about it.
I think so too.
As human beings, we'll be like itching to talk about it.
But maybe that's the thing. Maybe it just does that to them. Just shuts them down.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And you never hear about them.
Yeah.
They just go about living their life quiet. Yeah. Maybe it's those people who are just, they seem so depressed and lonely, and they're just good doing their routine till it just, their time finally goes.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know, man. Because there has to be other possibilities too, right?
Yeah.
There's one side, there's the other side.
Yeah, of course. I think it's hard. It's kind of, you can't blindly just say, oh no, never. Everyone who has this experience will feel this. Like, I don't know who's lying about these NDEs, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who isn't. I personally obviously believe this, and it could be because I'm a Baha'i and the story is related to my own religion. So, but I mean, I'm not going to just sit here and try to say that I don't believe it when I do in my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that if you have a near-death experience, like an actual experience, and you come back, of course everyone's going to believe in God, because then where did you go? You can't have that experience and know you were dead and come back and say, yeah, no, there is no next world. Then where were you?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Were you just like dreaming? Like maybe there will be more scientific proof soon, or maybe there is, I don't know. But I know that majority of people, who experience it, when they die and they come back, they all believe in something. Even if it's not God or religion, they're like, no, I was somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't just die and then come back. Like, it wasn't just like nothing.
But maybe it's still this world.
Maybe.
Which is still crazy in itself, that there's this aspect that could still be this world.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just your freaking consciousness.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
But I mean, to differentiate between your soul and consciousness and like all these things is very, then it becomes so philosophical, right? It's like, okay, how do you...
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the things that we can't really, they're not tangible. We can't see them.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It would fall into the same category as, because I would say like, how are these things that are so tangible or that are non-tangible part of this world?
Yeah.
Like how are they limited to this world?
Yeah. Like she was talking about how every lovely and nice thing that you feel in this world was there. And it was literally all about love.
So she felt nothing negative?
Nothing negative. The only thing she felt that was negative is when they told her she has to come back here.
That just seems too good to be true. Like, why wouldn't we just do, like, you know what I mean? She was like,
that's the only thing, that she had to come back to this world.
That's crazy, but why?
And there was that weird kind of like, not weird, but like feeling of like, oh, what are these souls doing here just wandering around? You know, if you think about like a ghost, like a Casper. It's like there were some souls that happened to. I would love to have a near-death experience.
Don't say that, man. That means something would
but I would come back.
Tragic would have to happen to you.
No, but I would come back. That's the whole point.
I know, but
I'm not saying like, come back like paralyzed or like something like that. No, but I want to come back like myself.
It's just the most extreme two things that have to happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's you guys not cool. Will
suffer. Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
But I will come back like she did. Like everybody who has a near-death experience, they come back. They're not dead. That's the best part. It's like somehow they got this experience that not a lot of people get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Even that in itself, like how? How is it that is that purely scientific? How? Because if someone is dead for 25 minutes, there's no heartbeat. Like the first doctor had given up. Her family doctor came. Yeah. Yeah, because he said when she came in from the ambulance, she didn't have a heartbeat for a long time. So like what, you know what I mean? What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Her doctor didn't give up. And she actually where she was watching.
Why did the doctor keep going?
This is what she explained. She's like, I felt the love he had for me that he couldn't let me go.
Without trying.
Yeah.
Fair
enough. He kept on just going.
Beating the crap out of her.
Yeah, basically. She's like, it was so aggressive and she didn't like that.
Did she have any broken ribs or cracked sternum?
I don't know. She didn't talk about that. Oh. Yeah. But when she came back, she remembers because the first doctor was telling the second doctor, like, you're insane. Why? The first doctor was like a younger doctor who just didn't, he was so tired. He had worked 30 hours. You know what I mean?
Maybe inexperience as well.
Right. And he was just worn out. 30 hours is a long time, right? And he was saying, what are you doing? Like, she came here. Hours? Yeah. And she's like, he said to him, even if she does come back, she hasn't had oxygen to her brain for however many long. She won't even be able to eat or like move her toes. So when she came back to this life, she's like, I immediately moved my toes to see if I could do that or if I was going to be paralyzed. Sure. Yeah, and she could. She was fine. She lived till she was older. So I think actually, you know what? This is her. This is her picture.
Let me see.
And she has pictures of herself when she was little.
Yeah.
Because she had near-death experience 3 times.
What?
Yeah, because she had something. Renee's cousin. Oh, she saw her cousin that had died. Renee at age 15, taken prior to NDE. So this is before she had her near-death experience. Her uncle that she saw that she never met. This is her with Rihia Khanum.
See, like now that she's had it like multiple times, it's like, what the heck?
Yeah. So at age 3. This was she had scarlet fever for years. She was sick for years because back then this killed so many kids.
Yeah.
So during that time of being sick, she saw her uncle.
What's the timeline?
She didn't die.
What is this? 19 like
70
40s, 50s?
Yeah, I'll find it. I don't remember.
It's all good. Like if you.
So she was like on CNN and stuff in the 80s. So I think this happened in the 70s.
This latest one
when she was a teenager. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she would have been around with like the Second World War kind of time.
I don't know, war times personally.
Maybe just after.
Yeah. But like even in the
she would have
book.
been after, yeah. 50s, 60s.
I did have that experience myself. She lived in Southern California. That I know. I remember. But the time, I don't remember the year. But another interesting thing in the book is, again, this could be a turnoff for a lot of people who don't believe in religion, is there's a lot of scripture, like writings from the Bible and from the Baha'i religion. There's a few from Islam, from the Quran. So like just talking about death and what religion says about death.
I mean, you got everything in there for everybody.
Yeah.
So
I think, well, not everybody, but majority of religions.
Majority.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're not religious, there's still words that are not,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this could definitely be a book for, like, because when I try to like recommend it to my friends who are not Baha'is, I don't want them to think that I'm like, oh, read this, because it is about the Baha'i religion and just religion in general. And I don't want them to think I'm trying to get them to convert. It's never, they know me, my close friends. But if I want to, like, let's say, suggest this to a colleague or someone like that, where we're not as close as like me and my best friends, then I don't want them to think that that's what I want them to do. It's just such an interesting story because I want to talk to people about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And know their
kind of opinions. It's fine. It's fine if she does that to you guys. Yeah.
No, I feel like you guys also know how we are, and that's not our... So anyways, if you want to read this book, it's called Answers from Heaven, The Near-Death Experience of Renee E. Passrow. And there are so many other books, and there's so many videos. She even at the end has like YouTube videos and like links of other people talking about their reference. What? What is
Don't.
No, I want to see.
You're okay. You're okay.
No, I want to see.
There's a flattened...
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's an earwig that got flattened there.
Earwig in there.
Oh my god.
I thought
Near-death experience.
This guy...
He's coming back.
This guy tried. This earwig went in there. He tried to gain that experience.
You have no idea how much I hate earwigs. More than spiders. How have you gotten this flat? Look at it.
I thought it was a design or a logo. I was like, what a weird logo to put in this book.
That sucks, man.
That's funny.
That guy went in there to experience NDE, but he died.
Yeah.
He's a goner.
Man. So earwigs can't experience that.
Near-death experience. You never know. If we find a live one, that means it's him.
He's watching us right now.
Oh, God.
He's like, they were so violent. They were rude. They talked so much crap about me.
Anyways, I spoke a lot in this episode because I was the one who read it and talked to James about it. But I thought it was an interesting topic. Hopefully, you guys also thought it was interesting. Let us know if you believe in what you think, If you believe in near-death experiences, have you heard? Do you know somebody? Do
you have any other books? Maybe leave a comment if you have books or stuff you've heard that seems legitimate.
Mm-hmm. And actually, my cousin last night told me, my other cousin, NDE.
Oh, watch the OA. Give that a shot.
Yes, watch the OA.
Pretty interesting.
But there's actually a documentary. It has one season. It's called Surviving Death, and it's about near-death experiences. So I'm going to definitely be walking on my walking pad and watching that.
Nice.
Yes. Do you want to watch it together?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. So anyway, we hope you like this episode. I feel like then it's kind of interesting when we read something and we share about it, because this actually brought us, me and my brother Nima, and now James is in the conversation because he enjoys these type of topics as well, is we talked about faith, just having faith. And then we got into listening to Phil Stutz, who is a psychiatrist. And yeah, so maybe we'll talk about that next because it's so interesting.
We're going to go through a book together with you guys.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go like kind of chapter by chapter. Tina's going to read ahead, but I'm not a big reader. So I like reading and I like when I gain information, but I just like, if I read too much, I fall asleep. So
yeah, same here. So I read in the morning and then I don't fall asleep, but I read throughout the day too. So don't think that like we are gonna be talking about the same kind of topic where it's mostly about religion and afterlife. It's not like that. It's mostly will be just a life, generally life, love, like faith, what's in the next world, maybe aliens, like stuff like that.
Yeah, we're gonna just kind of go through like, we're just gonna go through the stuff that is and this is kind of the trajectory of how the podcast is gonna go.
Yeah.
Is we're just gonna go through the stuff that we're actually learning and obtaining insight from.
Yeah.
Not to put it on you guys, but to just share it. So, because I mean, like, sharing is caring, guys.
But no, we also know that the people who do communicate with us within the podcast, like our podcast community and our friends, they listen to us while driving or like Sunday morning while they're having their coffee. So we know it's like a pastime for you. So hopefully these topics interest you. And if you want to share with us what else you want us to talk about, just let us know. We love you so much. We hope you enjoyed it.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
And
see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.